I want to play some 10-minute chess. I want to get some good quality games in 10 minutes. A lot of time to think, so I hope the quality of this will be better than my 5-minute videos. So e4, c5, d4. This is the Smith-Morra gambit. Oh, if white goes c3, but white went here, so this is, in my opinion, a less venomous version. This is just the center Sicilian, where white recaptures with the queen, allowing the queen to be attacked by our knight. And now we can continue developing our pieces in a very logical and calm fashion. Knight c3, we can go g6, bishop g7, fianchettoing the bishop, and always watch out for e5, but right now the knight's covering that square. Bishop g5, bishop g7, and I can see what white wants. White wants to castle, maybe aiming for e5 in the future, so we ought to be careful of that. Knight f3, now e5 is becoming a real threat, because e5, our knight is going to have to go somewhere awkward, like going back, because it can't go forward. So at this point, pushing the pawn up to d6 is a key move to discourage the move e5. But white is going to castle, pinning our pawn, because the rook would be opposing the queen, so we need to be careful of that. So white's setting up an aggressive position. I like it. That's like good chess. White is again threatening e5. Again threatening e5. What can we do about this? One idea is bishop e6. But then knight d5. One other idea is just to move the queen out of the way. Give me a second, I need to think about it. We can also develop the bishop, break that pin. So now e5. We simply have move like knight takes e5. I quite like the move bishop d7, developing the bishop to a square that blocks this dangerous rook. And knight d5 is happening. I'm not too scared. What's going on is if I take, the pawn will take most likely, and then we'll have to move our knight. Take, here, take. Alright. I'm okay with this. Maybe the rook would take, threatening maybe rook takes d6 because this pawn is pinned to the queen, so another possibility, but I still believe in black's position. Queen takes d5. Queen took. I didn't expect that one. Well, first things first, gotta take care of our king, so my first instinct was just to castle. I wonder if there's any other good moves here. I have a vague idea of castles e5. White is trying to smash us down the d file. I don't want to allow that, so I'm going to first play bishop e6. Our bishops are looking really good here. And if we bring a rook, that rook's also going to be attacking white. So already preferring black's position. We just need to weather the storm and castle. And then after we castle, we should be in excellent fighting condition. Queen b5, I think. Queen b5, I think. Queen d2 is played instead. Pretty surprised by that. Now we grab this pawn, but you know, I was never a fan of grabbing pawns in the opening before we're castled. I really was never that kind of guy. And one thing we can do is we can throw in the move Queen b6, threatening checkmate, before we do anything else like castle. And then we can think about rook c8, bishop takes a2, or knight to b4, going for the attack. I suppose white's plan is to go bishop h6, trading off our strongest bishop. And I don't think there's much we can do about that, but in the meantime, we can assemble our pieces, at least get our king safe. b3, reasonable. No, this guy's good. This guy's good. This is a dangerous position for both sides. I better be careful. Let me think. Rook c8 is a good move. At least a candidate move. This guy's playing good chess so far. If we castle, bishop h6 is coming. Castling should be okay. We're not hanging this because the knight defends it. The goal is really try to attack. Queen is also eyeing the f2 pawn, which can be useful. At bishop h6, maybe we can consider queen f2, but it's very dangerous because of knight g5. Yeah, this is dangerous for both sides, isn't it? I really want to preserve my bishop. I'm even considering sacrificing my rook by going bishop f6. I don't know if that's correct or not. I don't like how white has knight e5 as well. Getting worried here. I'm gonna play a weird move. I'm gonna play a weird move. If I lose, I lose. Not a standard move. Got some ideas though. Okay, let's first take this. Alright, why did we sacrifice the exchange? We sacrificed the exchange because we get a monstrous bishop pair here in return. I might just regret that, but I have some ideas. Knight b4 and rook c8 looks dangerous. Bishop d3. Go here, knight b4, and I want to go rook c8. I'm going to go for the maximum attack here. I don't know if my sacrifice was sound. This bishop is just such a monster. I don't want to trade it at all. So, king b1 maybe? c3? c3 would be some rook c8 though. a4? And it's very difficult to play for white. How does white deal with the idea of knight takes a2, knight c3, and like some queen a5? Just getting in there. Difficult position for white. Knight g5. That doesn't answer the question. Knight takes a2, king b1, and knight c3 is already hard to answer. That knight's getting in all the weak squares, and what's going to follow is some kind of checkmate, hopefully. King there. I at least have a draw. Knight a2, and then knight c3, but I'm definitely not selling for a draw here. I'm not selling for a draw here. I'm going to checkmate. I have queen a3 and queen a1, both checkmate threats. And even if that doesn't work out, I have the threat of bishop takes g5 because my queen is also attacking g5. So the game is over. Game is over. Just waiting for white to resign or play a move. But the game is over now. And this is one of the reasons the Sicilian is an aggressive and sharp weapon. And the Sicilian is often considered one of the best responses to e4 because it legitimately gives black winning chances from move 1, puts pressure on white. Alright, still fighting. Unfortunately, okay, let's think about this. Check here. Then check. It's brutal. That is just brutal. If I check here first, there's going to be king here. and the king is escaping. So in order to take advantage of this bishop being here and trying to block that escape route, I want to not go here first. I want to go here. Wait, did I miscalculate? I saw the win and somehow I check here, here. That's it, that's the win. Queen a1, and then king d2, then bishop g5. This is the win. Because the king is checkmated, it has to give up the queen. Sorry for that, just lapse in my calculation. But after this, the win is elementary. Rook c8 coming. Just over. It's just over. This happening. And queen takes c2 is checkmate. Okay, it's a good game. Very exciting. d4. This is an invitation to Smith-Morra gambit after I take. And this is considered good for black, theoretically. White sacrifices a pawn to obtain rapid development, but the theoretical standing of Smith-Morra is that black should still be slightly better. But instead of going c3, doing the proper Smith-Morra, my opponent took with the queen. And this is not really a gambit, it's just center game. And after knight c6, the queen is hit. This is why this variation is not considered good, because of knight c6. You never want to bring your queen out too early in the opening, I like to say, to beginners especially. Knight c3, g6. I could have also started with d6, preventing e5, adding another defender to that square, but I go with g6 because e5 right now is not harmless. But the moment e5 becomes a serious threat, I would go d6. So bishop g5, bishop g7, knight f3, and after knight f3, that adds a defender to e5. So white is really threatening e5 right now, so I better stop it. I do that by d6 and castles. And now white is once again threatening e5 because white castled long, the rook is pinning his pawn, so e5 is once again threatened. So here, I go bishop d7, which is okay. And then knight d5. Here I take, apparently slightly inaccurate, but still okay. What I didn't want to see was this takes, and get a isolated d pawn here. I didn't see any reason to give myself this yucky pawn here. Up a6, bishop takes d6, b5, queen a3. I didn't see why I should allow this, so that's why I took. I think my move is logical enough, and then I go bishop e6, because if I just castle, then okay, that's perfectly fine as well. But I was a little bit worried of, in some lines there's d5. If I take with the pawn, I'm going to hang this bishop, because remember, these two pieces are creating a battery on my bishop. So in this case, it's okay because I already have enough defenders on e5. But just in case, I played bishop e6 first, so that my queen or my bishop gets out of that attack, and my queen is now defended securely by multiple pieces. So queen d2, go queen b6, accurate move. going for that checkmate before castling. And then here I castled, but apparently there was a better move, knight b4, going for this pawn. After rook b1, or king b1, is rook c8. And black definitely has the initiative, already threatening pawn. So I should have gone knight b4. I guess I was worried of some counterplay with bishop h6, but after knight takes, knight c3, knight takes e4, and say queen f4, then black is just winning a lot of pawns, a lot of material. Here it's just devastating. And actually after bishop to d3, black can castle here. Ironically, it's now black who's castling queenside and just turning into a game where black is up a lot of material and playing more solidly instead of attacking. So that turned it on its head. Instead I just castled, which is perfectly fine, just not as aggressive. After bishop h6, I found the best move. According to the engine, I did find the best move. Bishop f6, sacrificing the rook because this bishop is so valuable along the dark squares. Takes and takes, and even though black's down the exchange, white has some serious problems on these dark squares. But bishop d3, already after knight b4, white is in a ton of trouble. And after knight g5, knight takes a2, and of course I missed this one. But I'll analyze my move first. Knight c3, and queen a5, going for a checkmate idea. And my opponent did correctly find queen e1, preventing immediate checkmate. But I go queen a1, bishop takes g5, takes, queen e5. I'm up a queen. Actually here I thought for quite a long time. After bishop takes g5, I didn't play this because I thought king b2, queen a2, the king might somehow run, but I didn't calculate far enough. If the king goes to d4, there is queen b2, c3, and some crazy moves like rook takes e3. If you take, I go queen takes f2, a little bit too deep for me to see with only 1 or 2 minutes, so that's why I didn't play those moves, that move bishop takes g5. I instead played the one I saw was winning, queen a1, bishop takes g5. And because the king can't run anywhere, and the knight is defended by the queen, and the king can't run to e2 because the knight defends it, white has to give up queen. This is what I saw. It's just winning. I'm up a queen here. The game concluded shortly after. Checkmate on c2. And, you know, I'm really happy I found the move bishop f6. This bishop is worth more than a rook here. Look how powerful that bishop is. And if bishop g5, I would have played bishop h8 so as not to trade it because it's so valuable. So I think this is a good game, very good game from me. But there's one move I want to look at. I wanted to look at the move right here. Right here, I did have a sacrifice which I missed. Bishop takes b3. I didn't even think of that because I was looking at knight c3, and I already knew that was already good enough. And practically speaking, chess is a practical game. Sometimes you just play what's practical, not what's most accurate. But bishop takes b3 makes total sense because if the pawn takes, queen takes, and king actually has no squares to go to, and after queen b2 is just mate. That could have saved me a lot of time if I had found bishop takes e3. It's a beautiful tactic. It's a wonderful tactic. So that's what I hope is a great introduction to the Sicilian defense. And I hope to make a lot more videos like this so that you can learn how to play the Sicilian at a high level and crush white with these aggressive lines. I think that's it for this game, and thanks for watching. See you next time.